So the other day I made a video talking about the fact that Tulsi Gabbard has qualified to make the 4th round of debates. And that is a great, great thing in my opinion. I got a little sidetracked on that video, went off into a tangent, and differences why, a lot of people seem to kind of think and link her and Bernie together in a way I can see why, and I kind of had to go off and explain the differences there. But nonetheless, today I want to talk, now that Tulsi's back in the debates, who are the next victims going to be? You know that old Goldberg, for any of you out there who watch professional wrestling, the old Goldberg phrase, who's next? Let's talk about who's next and what could be next. What could we expect to see Tulsi come out swinging with in the next round of debates? Because she has certainly shown she is not scared to get down in the pit and fight and get a little mud on her. Okay? She's going to tell the truth. If you're doing corrupt stuff, even if the Bernie Sanders of the world won't point it out, she will. She's the one who brought up all that crap about Kamala Harris, rather. When she was an attorney general. Bernie didn't bring that up. And the People's Party candidate, or whatever they were called, that just endorsed Elizabeth Warren, Elizabeth Warren didn't bring it up. No surprise there. That is another presidential candidate who has a private view and a public view. And that is starting to become more and more and more apparent when it comes to Elizabeth Warren. She's been for getting dark money out of politics for quite a while, except now, well, we need that money for only the presidential election. We won't take it in the primary, but in the general, we need it for the presidential election, for the House, the Senate, the state houses, the governor's mansions. We're going to have to use it. So, but that's all. Those are the only elections. Those are the only elections that we'll have to use that money for. Do what? What? Did I hear that correct? So those are all of them, Elizabeth Warren? Oh, so just every election out there. What, we're not going to take dark money, as Jimmy Dore put it, for the dog catcher? But we're going to take dark money for everything else. Oh, yes, Liz. Such a revolution you're leading. So, could Elizabeth Warren be the next victim? Could Tulsi come out pointing that out about Elizabeth Warren? She's already trounced Kamala Harris. But she still hasn't gotten the poll ratings up there yet. She's going to have to come out with the gloves off, going after all those prominent figures. Cory Booker. Beat Kamala Harris for the second time. Take down Elizabeth Warren a couple of pegs. Joe Biden, definitely. And if somehow Amy Klobuchar and Julian Castro and Beto O'Rourke and Pete Buttigieg and all these, if they make the debates, she's going to have to come out swinging on every one of them. When she gets to Beto O'Rourke, she's going to have to trounce him like the ass clown he really is. Okay? Beto O'Rourke, I don't think she's going to have much trouble with. When she gets to Buttigieg, she's going to have to point out he's a double-talking little clown. Okay? He's going to tell you one thing, make it sound good. It's not going to do what he's telling you it's going to actually do. For example, the Medicare for all who want it, while it may sound good in theory, and basically say, okay, yeah, if you can afford insurance, you don't need Medicare. But the bargaining power that comes with Medicare for all to negotiate down the drug costs and the prices, by not doing the entire system, you're actually crippling the whole concept and the bargaining power that Medicare for all would get. You're crippling its effect in that sense. So, if the health care is going to be just as good, why hurt it? People are still convinced that having the private insurance companies are going to be better. There's a lot of people convinced about that. And while they may have very good coverage, and I've not studied everyone's individual policy, maybe there's some people out there who have phenomenal coverage that they couldn't get from Medicare for All. However, I'm going to go out and wager and say they're probably making a lot more money a year than I am, in which case, if you've got the means, there are Medicare Advantage plans you can add to your basic level if you've got the means to do so. The big thing that comes out of it is that the working class people don't have to worry about whether or not they can make their house payment or eat if they have to go to a doctor, like I did last week. Hadn't been to a doctor in 8 years. For God's sakes, I put a hole in my hand, okay, and wouldn't go to the doctor, sealed it up with Loctite, peeled that seal off every day, cleaned it, reclosed it, kept wrapping it, Neosporin, the whole 9 yards, healed it up myself, had to do it at home. Everyone at work was telling me, you need to go to a doctor. My mom, you need to go to a doctor. I didn't want to afford a doctor bill. Didn't know if I could afford a doctor bill. And just to go for what I had to go for earlier this week, or last week at this point, was last Friday, just to get some antibiotics prescribed in an inhaler, all they did was take my blood pressure, feel my head, listen to my lungs, check my temperature, look in my mouth. $140. Now, if you live in a bigger town, you live in New York, you might not think that's much. In Spartanburg, South Carolina, that's a nice chunk of change considering my house payment's only $560. My car insurance is $400. Being under 25, they kind of really take you to task on the car insurance. So, with that being said, it's a messed up system. And so, if you got that in place, you would help people to be able to go to a doctor when they need to go to the doctor and not have to worry about whether or not they can pay their bills or eat. And Pete Buttigieg is very subliminally telling you he's going to screw up a big part of that program, but he makes it sound so great. Another thing Pete Buttigieg is in favor of, and I really, really hope Tulsi comes out and just clobbers him over the head for this? The superdelegates. That's right, the lovely, lovely superdelegates. Those people in the DNC primaries that the people come out to vote. But then the superdelegates can rally behind a good candidate, Hillary Clinton, and hand her the nomination. So, he's in favor of keeping that system around also. I would like to see Bernie and Tulsi just bludger him with that one, but we'll see. Okay? And when it comes to Joe Biden, oh man, take your pick where to start on that. Take your pick, please. Just, I don't care. Just any of them. The fact he's basically a Republican, the fact that the Obama administration took us from 2 wars into bombing like 7 countries, the fact the Obama administration didn't close Guantanamo Bay, the fact Joe Biden isn't for a Medicare for All system because he's arguing it can't be paid for, even though the studies have shown it costs less than what we have right now. Maybe because Joe Biden's taking some of that nice corporate money that funds the political campaigns. Those mafia bosses that get the politicians elected and want that quid pro quo. And Joe Biden is certainly no stranger to quid pro quo, as we just covered in the last video, where he has done the very thing the Democrats are trying to take a stretch and say that Trump has done, and that's why they want to impeach him now. But he's, admitted he's done it. On camera, he's admitted he's done it. They're not trying to tell him, hey, yo, we're trying to get Trump on this. You're guilty of the same thing. Sorry, Joe, but you gotta go. No, Nancy Pelosi's not saying that. No, she's not saying that at all. Instead, they're just rallying behind good old Joe Biden. Why? because he's part of that little elite club, and they protect their, clan, I guess you could call them. They're very tribalistic people. Think of it like the old hillbillies, the Hatfields and McCoys. I think that's a good representation of Democrats and Republicans. The Hatfields and McCoy. You coming after my kinfolk, we all gonna get the guns and come after you. That's basically what this is. The Republican come after the Democrat for corruption, and now the Democrats are up and on. You want to get him for corruption? No, we gonna get you for corruption. That's how stupid. Both of you did something that arguably definitely shouldn't have been done, except your guy actually has more evidence pointing toward the fact he did it than this guy does, but he's the one you're wanting to impeach. It never ends with these people. It just never ends with them. So could Tulsi just completely knock Joe Biden out of the race, or at least way down the peg where he just fall off the map? Maybe. It's possible. Joe Biden could be the next Jeb Bush. You never know. But nonetheless, I'm very curious. As to who she's going to go after next. And I would highly recommend, there's a lot of Tulsi Gabbard ads that get run on, my YouTube as I'm trying to search for the videos out there and stay up to date on stuff. I'm getting a lot of Tulsi Gabbard ads. Maybe that's because YouTube's seeing what I'm talking about, thinking I'm interested. But if there's anyone out there who's involved with Tulsi's campaign, just so happens to stumble across this, I know it's slim chances, even slimmer, that Tulsi herself may see this. Don't keep the gloves on and go soft on these people. You've got to step it up. They already kept you out of the third debates. You were the most searched candidate the 2 nights you were on in the first 2 debates. Come out, take them down. Take them down. You've got to get your poll numbers up higher if you've got a chance at winning this. I think everyone watching this channel would agree with that as well. The poll numbers are definitely going to have to come up. You've got a serious chance of this. You've got some serious grassroots support, but a lot of work is going to have to be done to really expose all these people that I just named. And then at the end of the day, it's just going to come down to, can you get past the Bernie, blockade? Because Bernie is kind of already got everything quartered off in his favor because of the fact he ran in 2016 and has already gotten into the public eye a lot more than Tulsi Gabbard has. However, I think at the end of the day, as I've pointed out, I think Tulsi Gabbard has a better moral compass and is more willing to stand for her morals than I've seen Bernie. I heard that on Jimmy Dore's channel that Bernie hasn't sold out to the status quo or something like that. I disagree. I think Bernie has, and I expressed that in the last video. So Tulsi, you've got to come out swinging. When the DNC rigged it, you stepped down. When the DNC rigged it against Bernie, he cucked out and endorsed Hillary Clinton. So come out, take the corruption down, then worry about the stiff competition that you might really have some trouble with at the end of the day. But come out, you need to have some more of those Kamala Harris moments in this next debate. I don't care if it's on Buttigieg, Biden, Warren, Harris round 2. Actually, I would like to see at least a good combination, if not all of those take place. Now, the problem is going to be, will they give her the time to do it? Will they try to avoid her? Will they just, keep skipping over her from topic to topic? They don't seem to want to give her a lot of time in the debates. And for very good reason. They're afraid she's going to drop bombs when they do. So she has to really get the point across when she gets a chance to get the point across. And that certainly needs to be done. So let's hope Tulsi does great. And I'm very curious to see just how good of a job she does on those next debates. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Independent Report. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up and like the video.
Also, if you have any questions or comments that you'd like to ask or topics you'd like us to cover, please drop a comment in the comment box below. And also, please subscribe to the channel, and if you do subscribe, ring that bell so you'll stay up to date when we drop new videos and you'll get notifications of it. And also, please support us on Patreon. Funds are going to be used to grow and improve this channel so we can reach more and more people and spread the message that the mainstream media doesn't want to tell people. We hope you'll tune in next time.